Are we eating dead wasps? It might sound like the setup for a horror story, but figs have a fascinating and slightly creepy secret hidden in their sweet, delicious flesh. Many species of figs owe their existence to a tiny creature called the fig wasp, and their relationship is one of the most bizarre examples of symbiosis in nature. Here's how it works. Female fig wasp enters a fig through a small opening, often losing her wings in the process. Inside, she lays her eggs in the fig's flowers while also pollinating it with pollen she brought from another fig. But here's where it gets dark. After completing her job, the wasp dies inside the fig. That's right, her tiny body becomes part of the fig itself. But don't panic just yet. You're not actually biting into crunchy wasps when you eat a fig. Figs are equipped with an amazing trick. They produce enzymes that break down the wasp's body, essentially turning it into nutrients for the fruit. The time you eat the fig, the wasp has been completely dissolved and absorbed. So technically, you're not eating a wasp, but the fig wouldn't exist without it. Now, before you swear off figs forever, here's some good news. Most commercial figs, like the ones you find in grocery stores, don't require wasp pollination. They're grown without this creepy process, meaning your fig Newtons are likely wasp-free. But if you're eating wild figs, you might be getting a little more than you bargained for. This strange relationship between figs and fig wasps is just one example of how nature can be both fascinating and unsettling. Figs aren't the only place where things get creepy. Take, for example, the zombie ant fungus, a real-life horror story happening in forests around the world. This parasitic fungus, known as Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, infects ants and takes control of their bodies in the most terrifying way. Once infected, the fungus manipulates the ant's nervous system, forcing it to climb to a high location, perfect for spreading spores. The ant clamps its jaws onto a leaf or branch and waits as the fungus consumes its insides and eventually sprouts a stalk right out of the ant's head, releasing more spores to infect others. It's nature's version of mind control, and it's as creepy as it is fascinating. And then there's the tongue-eating parasite, a creature straight out of a nightmare. This parasitic isopod, known as Chymothoa exigua, targets fish swimming into their mouths and latching onto their tongues. Over time, the parasite destroys the tongue and effectively replaces it, functioning as the fish's new tongue. The fish doesn't die, but it now shares its life with an unwanted passenger every time it eats. It's bizarre, unsettling, and yet another example of nature's creepy ingenuity. So whether it's a fig that quietly dissolves a wasp, a fungus that controls ants, or a parasite that becomes a tongue, these stories remind us of just how strange and complex the natural world can be. But they also raise a fascinating question. How much do we really know about the hidden lives of the creatures we share our planet with? Would you still eat figs knowing this? And which of these creepy stories freaked you out the most? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more weird and wonderful facts about our world. Trust me, there's plenty more where this came from.